full speed, tigers can reach about 35 miles per hour. When you compare that to the average human of 15 miles per hour, that is quite fast. Even when Usain Bolt broke the world record at the Olympics for the 100 meters, he can reach the speed of 24 miles per hour. A tiger can go from a standstill to full speed in just 2.5 strides, so their acceleration is really good too.
Now, in just a moment, Akasha trainer Jonah is going to get her attention with some 2% milk. Tigers love the taste of milk, so it's a great food item to motivate them for certain behaviors. And of course, being 2% low fat, it helps Akasha keep her nice, girlish figure.
Now that Akasha is in position, we'll demonstrate a fighting posture. This is a position that tigers would find themselves in if they got into any sort of dispute out there in the wild. By rising up on their hind legs and batting at each other just like a boxer with those powerful front paws, trying to knock their opponent off balance to gain the advantage. How about a big round of applause for Akasha, everybody? Hey, Don.
Yeah, Greg?
Did you know that a tiger can take down a small deer with just one swipe of that paw?
Wow.
I'd like to see Mike Tyson try that.
Wow, Greg, I admit that's some power. Now, Greg, when most people think of a tiger show, they think of the circus, where there can be as many as a dozen tigers on stage at once. Tell us, why is Akasha out here all by her lonesome?
Well, as we said earlier, we like to train natural behaviors, and it's very natural for tigers to be by themselves. The only cat that likes living in a social group are African lions. Other than that, all other types of cats are solitary by nature. Cats can certainly learn to tolerate one another, and Akasha does get along with a few of her other tigers in the back, but it's still very natural for her to be out here by herself. She's not much of a team player.
Now, being solitary in the wild also helps the tigers hunt. You see, living in the dense forests and jungles of Asia and relying on stealth to approach their target, a solitary hunter is much more efficient at catching prey. And while tigers in the wild will eat anything that they can catch, their primary prey consists of sandbar deer and wild pig. Oh, hey Greg.
Yeah.
Speaking of hunting, when tigers are out hunting in the wild, do they ever climb trees when they're going after prey? And if they're so athletic as we've been demonstrating, could they just climb right out of here?
Not to worry, Don. Tigers are not very good climbers at all. In the wild, smaller cats climb trees to get away from larger predators. But tigers don't traditionally have larger predators that they need to get away from, so they never adapted for climbing. Their claws are only about 1 inch to 1.5 inches long. When you compare that to the rest of the size of the tiger, it is not very big. They can, however, jump about 10 feet straight up in the air, and Akasha will demonstrate that with his tree hop. You see that piece of meat held way up there, hop on up, hang on with those razor-sharp claws, get that piece of meat, then come on down for a graceful 4-pod landing.
And how about a big round of applause for Akasha, everybody? Alright, this is the part of the show where Akasha's going to dive into the deep end to show you behavior that has made our tigers here at Six Flags world famous. She's going to show you how tigers dive underwater.
That's right, she'll fold back her ears, open up her eyes, find that piece of meat, and head on back to the surface.
Let's hear it for Akasha, everybody! Wow, Greg, this is incredible. Tell us, why is this behavior that we see more often?
Well, as you can tell, tigers naturally love the water. It's just unfortunate that most other zoos and animal parks do not have the necessary facilities to show off this awesome behavior. And I highly doubt any documentary photographers are going to want to scuba dive in a lake where tigers are swimming. In the wild, tigers generally only dive if they have to, usually if they're going after some sort of prey, and if they do dive, it's not too much deeper than our pool right here.
Alright, so if this behavior is so rarely observed, how did you train it, and how did you even know that you could in the first place?
Well, over the years, we noticed that some of our younger cats would stick their nose in the shallow end of the pool while playing with their toys. That's where the idea for this came from. Kuma, one of our older tigers, was the first one we trained to dive. We simply rewarded him for sticking his nose in the shallow end of the pool, and we just kept gradually moving in deeper and deeper until he was actually diving for a piece of meat. Odin, our older white Bengal tiger, learned from watching Kuma, and he eventually became world famous for this behavior. We have trained 5 tigers how to dive, and Akasha is the very first female to learn this behavior.
Now folks, we'd be remiss if we didn't tell you about what you could do to help endangered species like the tiger. One of the ways to get involved is to contribute to organizations that directly help the tiger. On the screen above, we happen to have the websites of 2 organizations that do just that. By contributing your time and or money, you can actually make a big difference in the survival of this amazing animal. But for now, how about one final round of applause for our tigers, Maxim and Akasha?